All right, welcome back. Time right now is 6:16.
Let's get a check on our forecast. It's a holiday weekend. People are going to be out and about. What are things looking like, Mackenzie?
Yeah, well, luckily for us, we're drying out. Couldn't be better timing for that because the holiday right around the corner, a picture-perfect weekend right around the corner as well. So let's go ahead and talk about our rain totals over the last couple of days because, again, it was pretty impressive as far as the rainfall amounts that we saw in our northern communities. Take a look there, over 2.5 inches in Pismo Beach, San Luis Obispo over 1 3/4 inches, closer to 1 inch there in Santa Maria, but then you can see as we head further and further down to the south, those showers really fell apart. We only got above 1/4 inch here in Santa Barbara, didn't even make it to that 1/4 inch mark in Ventura. So as I mentioned today, we're drying out nicely. We saw with Storm Tracker radar earlier that we have no activity this morning. We are still sitting at about a 20% chance of showers, so we could still see a little light shower moving through. I don't think we're going to see much, just maybe some misting and drizzle from this fog and from these low-level clouds this morning. But don't worry too much because those clouds begin to clear out beautifully by the afternoon. We're expecting mostly clear skies, sunny conditions, not only today, but then heading into our Thanksgiving as well. So today and tomorrow, two of the biggest travel days on tap here. So let's go ahead and take a look at our travel impacts. If you are heading out, you can see here we have pretty minimal impacts. The entire U.S. looking calm, rather calm right now. We're going to be tracking a little bit of snowfall there in Denver. You can see we have a little bit of activity mainly out towards the eastern half of the U.S. here. And then, of course, as we head into Thanksgiving, that's another huge travel day on tap for a lot of people. We are going to be picking up on a little bit more activity for those areas further up towards Maine. And you can see there as far down as Atlanta and into Georgia there as well. So let's go ahead now and talk about future track radar because again, we're not seeing any sort of rainfall today. Maybe you're staying in the Central Coast for your Thanksgiving or for this holiday weekend here. Well, we're going to be having beautiful conditions. So take a look here, 8 o'clock in the morning, overcast skies. I do think it's going to be a rather gloomy and dreary morning on tap for us, but those clouds don't stick around for too much longer here. 1 p.m., maybe you're heading out for lunch. It's not going to be a bad afternoon to eat lunch outside. Those temperatures warm up a few degrees. That sun's going to make us feel a lot warmer as well. And you can see here, even by the evening hours, heading home from work, just a little bit of cloud coverage for those interior areas. Winds on the nice and light side. We have no watches, warnings, or advisories. We're not expecting any sort of advisories anytime soon here. We're just really falling into this stagnant pattern of weather. But let's go ahead and talk each microclimate here. So we're back up into the 60s for the south-facing beaches. We're going to max out at 66 degrees here in Santa Barbara, 64 there in Summerlin, and 60 degrees in Carpinteria. If you remember these last couple of days, overnight lows, they've cooled back down into the 40s and 50s, so I do think it is going to be a pretty chilly night on tap for some interior areas. Since we don't have those clouds, they typically act like a blanket overnight, and they really hold in some of that heat. We're not expecting those clouds overnight in those inland areas of Atascadero, California Valley. That's why temperatures will be cooling back off into the 30s, and then down in Ventura County back into the 60s for the day. Very pleasant, peak heating right around 2 or 3 p.m.